everyone, Beth here, and today I'm going to show off my evil team. Now, I have done a video about what if I had an evil team in the past, but since then I've been fleshing it out, and with the influence of Mr. Buddy's evil team and the Buddyverse at large, I've managed to wrangle the plot bunny, and now it's here for your viewing pleasure. Now, before we get down to business, let me first say, please go check out the artists that I had commissioned for some of the art you'll see in the video and give them love. Second, this team does have clowns and is circus themed, so if clowns give you the heebie-jeebies, then it's best to listen to the video. Also, please feel free to leave your own thoughts and reactions to this video, and I hope you enjoy the story of Team Cirque. To start off, my evil team is set in the Kalos region, and while there's some mentions of the events of X and Y through optional NPC conversations, it's not necessary to know what happened in the past for this evil team and their story. You start off your journey, and on your way to the first gym, you spot yourself a Pokemon that is certainly a surprise this early in the Kalos region, an Eevee! Before you can attempt to catch this rare Pokemon, it comes closer to you and snatches your bag. Obviously, to save your free potions and Pokeballs from your mom, professor, and rivals, you give chase. Thankfully, it seems this panicked Pokemon is being considerate enough to not run through the tall grass and make you encounter wild Pokemon without your bag. It leads you to a wooded area where you find out why this Eevee wanted your attention. An older trainer is slowly pulling herself up to a tree to sit against, looking rather bruised and beaten up. You quickly rush over to help, but thankfully this trainer claims to be alright, though she expresses appreciation for your help in helping her get to a Pokemon Center, where the nurse Joyce help her and the Eevee out. One of the nurses thanks you profusely for your help and gives you a max potion and tickets to a circus, explaining that the circus had just arrived in town and she figured you deserved a treat for being such a hero. You thank the nurse and make your way on your journey, earning both your Bug Badge and Cliff Badge before you come across some clowns harassing another trainer. Admittedly, this is a bit of a strange situation even for the world of Pokemon, so you come up to the group to see what's up. These clowns are members of Team Cirque, and they are apparently taking from the Team Skull playbook as the trainer is more annoyed than afraid for their life. You engage into a double battle with the two grunts, who use a variety of ghost, fairy, mischief-making, and other circus-themed Pokemon, with their typings shown on the color-coded outfits. And after beating the grunts, they make like an Eevee leveling up near a mossy stone and leave you alone. The trainer thanks you for your help and explains that they were being bothered by the grunts about some sort of bottle they're looking for. The trainer heads off, and at this time you'll notice that in your bag you've got a brand new item in the key items part. It's a strange bottle, but hey, it's harmlessly taking up space, so you shrug off the confusion and make your way to the next gym before you find that there's more Team Cirque grunts around the grounds. Though thankfully these ones are more watching some really tall Yongoose-looking dude bang on the doors of the shallow gym. You approach the guy and he turns around, demanding to know if you're the gym leader, but before you can even answer, you're thrown into a battle against Axel, one of the admins for Team Cirque. For this battle, he uses a Sableye, Doublade, and a Zebstrika on his team, and after you defeat him, he's shocked and rounds up the grunts, saying they have to warn Dorian. They run off, and before you can even start to process what the heck just happened, Shalor's gym leader Karina rushes up to you, looking a bit frazzled. She explains that these grunts have been all over and have been bothering people looking for something, and she was busy helping out some trainers, hence why the gym was closed. You tell her about the admin and she's surprised, though she jokes that she's in for a fun challenge if you were able to handle that guy so easy. She says she has to pay a visit to the Pokemon Center first, so she'll be right back for your challenge and skates off. While you're waiting, you can roam around where you find near the gym. You spot the trainer you rescued from before, seeming to be in an argument with a guy with a trench coat. You approach the two, and the trainer recognizes you from before and thanks you again for the help before introducing herself as Bess and the trenchcoat guy as Looker. They're having a bit of a disagreement in how to handle the circus grunts, with Looker wanting to go out and handle it by himself, but Bess wanting to help. Thankfully, before you're roped into refereeing a fist fight between two adults, Karina calls for you and you make your way into getting your gym badge. Once that's over, Looker and the Bess woman are nowhere to be found, so you continue on your merry gym challenging way. And things are pretty mellow up until you make it to Clement's gym, where to everyone's surprise, there's a bunch of clowns harassing the NPCs. If you look towards the rooftop, however, there's someone in similar makeup to the Yongooseless dude in a standoff with Bonnie, and Clement's nowhere to be found. After battling through a few of the grunts, you earn yourself a key card, and as you make your way to the top, to the roof, you find exactly what the key card unlocks. Clement! He explains that he was busy working on some electrical work in the gym when he got ambushed by the grunts and his Pokemon were taken and he was tossed into the closet. Not mentioning the whole your sister's on the roof with an evil ballerina thing, you two split up. Clement to find his Pokemon, and you to the roof to figure out what's going on. Once on the roof, you watch Bonnie's Denene get knocked out by the ballerina woman's shiny Sylveon, and the woman, rather irritated, asks where the bottle is. Bonnie tells her she doesn't know, and also she demands to know where her brother is. The woman is getting very annoyed before she spots you and asks if you're the trainer that defeated Axel. She remarks that you're getting rather close to something dangerous and should probably stop sticking your nose into things unless you want to end up like the boss. Obviously, you're not going to do that, so you are engaged into a battle against Team Cirque's other admin, Mina. On her team is a Malamar, Gallade, and Sylveon, and once you defeat her, she is sort of impressed, and mentions that maybe, perhaps you'll be able to stop Dorian. She and the rest of the grunts make their leave, and Bonnie thanks you for the help as her brother makes it up to the roof, and an awkward sibling conversation carries out before you challenge Clement for his badge. The next encounter you have with this evil team is right after earning Valerie's badge, where as you exit, you spot Looker having an intense conversation with some magician-looking guy. The magician guy calls out an Exploud, and you rush over to save the detective from getting creamed. The magician-looking guy, revealed to be named Dorian, uses an Exploud, Spinda, and a rather strange-looking Ursaring in this battle, and once defeated, he brushes it off as a fluke and storms off. Looker thanks you for your help and notes the strange-looking Ursaring before deciding to investigate the circus. He hurries off, and while your gym journey could continue on, you decide to follow after Looker to the circus and see what the big top is hiding. As you approach the circus, you make your way past the grunts towards the back of the circus, where you find Bess trying to calm a rampaging and strange-looking Goodra. You rush over to help her and are thrust into a battle against this Goodra, which has the typing of Dragon Ghost, and with not being able to capture this Pokemon, you're forced to defeat it, and once it's knocked out, it dissolves into goo with a pained cry. Bess thanks you for the help and explains that was her Pokemon you just fought. Turns out she's the real leader of Team Cirque. Unfortunately, she had discovered that one of the members of the circus were experimenting on Pokemon to force them to change typing, and he had ambushed her when she was trying to free one of the Pokemon, an Eevee, and was blasted by one of his attacks, which landed her near the starting town. She asks for your help in stopping him, and you agree, before the two of you make your way into the circus. You do have a few encounters with some grunts and double battles where you see exactly what Bess means by Dorian's experiments. This Eevee is capable of elemental moves the elemental evolutions have. If this seems familiar, that's because in the Pokemon Adventures manga, the first protagonist, Red, had an Eevee that had been experimented on by Team Rocket, which allowed it to temporarily evolve into the known evolutions at the time and evolve back. Gameplay-wise, I see this Eevee being able to use the moves that the evolutions know, but can only use a certain amount of moves at a time. So essentially having a lot more moves to pull from, but extremely limited PP. Back to the story, you make your way deeper into the circus before Bess stops and asks you to cover for her while she checks out what she says is Dorian's lab. She knows that it's unlikely, but she wants to see if she can find her other Pokemon and see if they're okay. You nod and stand guard as she enters, but before you can get the chance to be bored, both admins of the circus find you and demand that you leave before you get hurt. Obviously, you defy the two circus adults, and you battle Axel and Mina in a double battle, with Mina using her Gallade, Sylveon, and Malamar, while Axel uses his Sableye, Zebstrika, and Aegislash. Both admins use their respective Mega Evolutions to try and help them win the battle against you, but you overpower them and defeat them. Mina takes the loss with a lot more grace than Axel does, but before he can attempt the tactic of use oneself to battle, Bess exits the room, and the admins find that Dorian actually did a horrible job of trying to kill her. Axel embraces her in a beware-rivaling hug as Mina is a little bit more dialed back, yet still grateful the boss is back. The two admins explain what Dorian is planning, strong-arming everyone with the threat of ending up like Bess, who they all thought was killed, into capturing the mythical Hoopa and is trying to find the prison bottle to change Hoopa into its unbound form. Understandably, that's not a good thing, so while Axel is dragging Mina around to round up the grunts and to explain the situation, you and the leader head to where Dorian is. You only stop when you find Looker a bit tied up in aerial rope. Apparently, this member of the International Police was defeated not by the sheer number of grunts, but instead being a straight man in a literal circus. Bess tells you to go on ahead while she helps Looker get untied, and you hurry past the two and into the next area where you see that Dorian guy standing in front of a large machine where the mythical Pokemon Hoopa is attached to, along with several other strange-looking Pokemon, all of them not looking too good. Dorian doesn't turn around, but he acknowledges your presence, complimenting your skills, having been able to best the admins, and he can see why you were entrusted with the bottle. He turns around and offers you a choice. You give him the bottle and you can leave with no issue, or he'll take it from you and you'll be left a little more holy than when you came in. Regardless of your answer, he turns to you and comes closer, grabbing at his cane, but before he reaches for you, you're knocked to the side by the Eevee before it throws itself at Dorian, knocking him away and revealing that he was planning on killing you anyways with his sword cane. As you get back to your feet, Looker and Bess arrive as Dorian roughly throws the Eevee to the side and gets to his feet, struggling to keep any decorum about him. Bess and Dorian share a bit of banter, with Dorian topping it off by revealing that her Goodra was the only Pokemon to survive experimentation, and while Looker holds back Bess, Dorian saunters over to your knocked-over bag and, using his cane, picks up the bottle. He heads back to his machine and reveals his plans. By forcing Hoopa to change into its unbound form, he's going to summon the legendary Pokemon and continue his experimentation. Obviously, you're not going to let this happen, so you face off against Team Cirque's leader, who uses an Exploud Spinda, the strange-looking Ursaring from before, a strange-looking Mr. Mime and Houndoom, and of course, Hoopa Unbound. A thing to note for this battle is that these strange-appearing Pokemon are partial ghost typing, so Ursaring is normal ghost, Mr. Mime is psychic ghost, and Houndoom, while not being able to mega evolve, is now dark ghost. The battle is tough, but you manage to defeat him, and he stumbles back in shock and anger as the strange-looking Pokemon slump to the ground. He gives you the standard "I lost to a 10-year-old evil leader" lines as Bess breaks free from Looker and decks Dorian across the face, sending the magician stumbling back into the machine and dropping the bottle, which shatters upon impact. Hoopa Unbound cries out in agony as multiple wormholes start opening up. Looker grabs you and holds on to a nearby temp pole as the force of the wormholes try to pull you in. You see Bess grab onto the machine, struggling to keep her grip, as Dorian, not wanting to fall into a wormhole leading to who knows where, hooks his cane onto Bess's arms and begs for help, attempting to apologize for the attempted murder and all the horrible stuff he did. Bess doesn't buy any of it, and at the risk of slipping off, maneuvers her arm so that Dorian's cane slips off, and the magician screams in horror as he falls through one of the wormholes before all the wormholes close and things settle. Looker comes over to the woman, to make sure she's alright, and she just orders him to help her open up the machine and rescue the Pokemon, Hoopa included. Looker turns back to you and tells you to go back on your journey and that the International Police will handle this situation. Now, this isn't the end of the saga of Team Cirque, as the final thing you can do after becoming champion and exiting the Pokemon League is encountering Mina, who's waiting for you outside the building. She greets you curtly and says that you're invited to return to the circus for a surprise. Of course, she doesn't give you the details as she turns to deal with a certain energetic admin who's playing around with the strange-looking Houndoom and Mr. Mime and admittedly making a bit of a scene. You make your way back to the circus and find out what the surprise is. Bess wishes to challenge you to a Pokemon battle in front of a circus-going crowd. She explains that this is their final show in Kalos before they head to speak with the professors in Alola about the Pokemon Dorian experimented on. Speaking of them, Bess says that the Pokemon wish to thank you for helping them via battle, and what better way to send off the circus than a battle against the champ. Your final battle has you holding your own against Bess's team of a Fighting Ghost Beware, Fire Ghost Prior, Dark Ghost Mightyena, the Multi-Evolution Eevee, a Ground Ghost Dofam, and Hoopa in its normal form. the mythical apparently deciding that mischief making at the circus would be a cool thing to do, especially now that it's not being forced to open wormholes willy-nilly. You defeat Bess and the Pokemon, the crowd exploding with applause as you both take a bow, the curtain closing on your adventure. And that's my evil team. What do you guys think? Would you fight against the team, or would you be part of the evil team itself? Please feel free to leave your own thoughts and feelings down below in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!